All right. We've got some bad hombres. The effort poster crew. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, here's like a thing. I don't know how to help you guys with this. I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do to help you with this, okay? I feel like... So one of the things that I'm grateful about, okay, is I like that I have a community that pushes back on me. That's good. I like that, okay? We don't do fortresses here or circle jerks. If I say something you disagree with, even though usually you guys are wrong, that's okay. That's cool. I'm glad that we have a place where we can air our grievances and attack the streamer in my safe space where I can ban people if it's too much, okay? However, there's a fine line we all have to learn to walk. And I don't know how to cultivate this within you, okay? Because sometimes it feels like people are so horny to shit on me to show how much you're not circle jerking me. Sometimes it feels like an anti-circle jerk a little bit. It gets a little weird, okay? Where like, if you disagree with me with something, that's fine. But sometimes it feels like people are like, need to disagree a lot. And it's like, chill. Holy shit, okay? There's also like, I wish we could temper this a little bit. I wish you guys could temper this a little bit. I feel like you guys have like the jerk waves and then the anti-jerk waves over certain topics. Now, I read my subreddit pretty regularly. I go through it in the morning and at night after stream. Now, I'm fully admitting I might be missing things, but I don't remember any posts where people were posting and upvoting a lot that the cops were totally in the right and that cops are awesome and they were bootlicking and like, oh yeah, the cops. I don't remember seeing that. What I did remember seeing was people echoing my sentiment that like, hey, we should wait for all the information to come out, which I think is responsible. But now that there is more information out, it looks like there was a lot of mistakes on the sides of the cops, which is fine. Well, it's not fine. They shouldn't have made mistakes. But it seems like there was information that comes out now. Now people are like, can we get a ban on all the people that were defending the cops? And it's not, I don't think it was about that. So here's like a thing that, I would like to see. And the super guy, he did it well here, okay? If you're going to start making posts on the subreddit, about this is a problem in the subreddit, you need to start posting links to what comments you're talking about. Because there are so many times where I see you guys say things like, the subreddit is becoming super reactionary. They're very conservative. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah, there's a lot of conservative posters in the sub. And then when I go and I look in the sub, I'll see like a few conservative posters. They're like negative 12 points in every fucking thread. They get like hardcore downvoted everywhere. And it's like, well, okay, is this really a problem? Like, I don't understand what you guys are like upset about. And I think he called them out. Whenever you guys want to link all the posts of any of the cops, feel free to respond. And then he tags in all the people. And I checked earlier today. Now maybe they have come out and posted things, so maybe it was a bigger problem than I thought. But I didn't see people posting all these defenses of the cops. I just saw people posting like, hey, let's wait for more information. Or like, we don't know this thing yet. But, okay, here, this guy said, there was like a 370 plus upvoted posting. The police did everything they could. Someone linked to the comments there. It was very selective. Let's look at this post. Wait, so he's saying this post was a bad one? I skimmed this one. I didn't read it all, but... I'm not sure how the officers were equipped. It's difficult to pass judgment on a score resource officers armed with a handgun. Ultimately... So this seems like it's kind of drawing... This reaction seems like misplaced anger being directed towards cops when they really don't like it down. There was quarantined to one room where it seemed like... If you feel like there are posts that are... I guess if you consider this like sucking off the cops... Like... You guys, we need to find a way to avoid this thing where we like every time there's an event, he put an update at the top. Oh, update here. This topic is a hotspot for misinformation, so I thought I'd read through news articles and collect them here. Every claim I make is sourced to a news article at the bottom of the post, marked parenthetically with a number of the sources. So this is, even if you disagree with him, at least he's trying. We need to stop this thing where every time there's like a big circle jerk wave, there's like another one where people are like, we need to get rid of all these posters. And then another one was like, we need to get rid of people that talk about getting rid of these posters. And then the meta one where it's like, we need to talk about everybody that wants to talk about the subreddit. Blah, blah. And it's like, guys, can you just chill? Read the update on that link. On which link? This one? So now he's posting another article with new evidence coming out. I don't think I'm going to read this entire thing, but as more evidence has come out, it seems less likely that the local cops are justified in their actions, although it's still important to figure out where and why the failure happened. Moving forward, I've been looking out for statements made by local police. It would be interesting to see the rationale for ignoring 911 calls students in the costume of the shooter. Okay, sure. It is the Overton window of the subreddit. You can't come and say the cops did nothing wrong. The most pro-cop thing you could really say is let's wait for more information. The same thing happens with a Palestinian journalist a week ago. But I think it was the same with a Palestinian journalist as well. Now, I could be wrong, but I think for the Palestinian, journalist, it sounds like at this point, it's pretty reasonable to think that he was shot by the IDF, or she. The journalist was shot by the IDF. But for people that were posting on day one, you can't know that. I permabanned a bunch of people in another post. Let me see if I can find it. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Because I made a tweet criticizing like Vaush like posting breaking news information and then being able to walk it back later. And then people in the sub were saying that like, oh, that didn't age well, Destiny did it. Like, yeah, no, yeah, it did. It's not about, the point about breaking news isn't whether you're right or wrong. It's about speculating. We can speculate on a whole bunch of things. Even if you're right though, that doesn't make the speculation okay. We shouldn't speculate. But I don't know how to like, oh, it might have been this one. This tweet hasn't aged well so far. As more information comes out, it looks worse and worse for the cops. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not saying the cops did everything they could or the cops did a good job. I'm just saying, wait for more information. That's it. It's that easy. You could say Destiny made his own conclusions before all the information came that the cops' actions would make more sense as time went on. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Who the fuck knows? It kind of seems like he jumped the gun on thinking the cops weren't as bad as they actually were in order to publicly shit on Vaush. Okay. The tweet implies it. If you want to be, okay, here's like, if you guys want to do this, sure, Pisco, you can do this, okay? If you guys want to autistically read my tweets in the least charitable way possible, that's fine, but you have to fucking stop telling me to be so charitable, people. I can't live in that world. Okay? If you're not a fucking retard and you're reading my tweet, it's pretty obvious that I'm pointing to the issue of jumping on breaking news and then doing the retraction later. That Vaush has done 50 million fucking times. Now, if you want to read this and go, oh, well, Destiny is implying here that there's going to be a walk back later, therefore Destiny is 100% asserting that the information released now is incorrect, then fuck you. Fuck you for coming to me and being like, well, Destiny, when you think of how these people are typing, don't you think that maybe they're just responding in this way because of blah, blah, blah? Like, I'm not going to live in that world. I'm not going to do that. Kill yourself and get the fuck out of my stream and my community. I can't do it. I cannot maintain this air of infinite charitability to subhuman fucking Ubermenschen, whatever the German word is, so you can be even more offended when I say it, to that group of people. And then when you deal with me, it is like the unbelievable lowest level of charity possible, where it's like, well, Destiny, you used a capital L and there's about 7,000 of them in Das Kapital, so I think you're a fucking Nazi. Like, fuck out of here with that bullshit. It's very, 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 very obvious, like, what the message of my tweet is here. And it's weird that, like, when people talk to me, they take, like, the infinitely rhetorically optical route where they're like, well, Destiny, shouldn't you try and imagine if like a school shooter was holding a bunch of people hostage and he was reading through your Twitter thread, and if he read a single tweet by you that made his pulse elevate past a 120, he might murder a whole bunch of transgender children? Shouldn't you be writing every single tweet like that? And then you turn around and you tell me, Destiny, when you're engaging with other people on Twitter, shouldn't you like extend more charitability to the entire like US effort to fucking Africa for malaria and fucking AIDS combined? Like, what the fuck? I can't do both. I can't do both. Figure it out, okay? Figure out if you want to live in a world of infinite charitability, or if you want to live in a world where we all fucking hate each other, or if you want to have some middle ground where we can reasonably interpret each other's tweets and messages, okay? How do I say subhuman in German? I don't want to say subhuman in English anymore. I want to be a Nazi. Subhuman in German. We'll learn this word.
Untermenschlich.
Untermenschlich. Yeah, that one, okay? I don't want there to be any doubt. No plausible deniability, okay? I am a Nazi in a video game. No. Not in a video game. Unless it's an ARPG. An alternate reality RPG. Where we play in real life. In a video game. Oh, that's an adjective? What's the noun version? What do you think about the reality that apparently it's not the police's obligation to protect citizens? Isn't this kind of... So the whole police have no duty to protect you. My understanding of that is that the reason why the police don't have a quote unquote duty to protect you, what that basically says is like you can't sue the police for failing to render services. You can't, because if that was the case, then anytime a crime was successfully committed, like everybody could theoretically sue their like local police departments and get money out of them, and then shit would get fucked. Correct, but the opinion from SCOTUS also states the primary function is to enforce the law and not protect the public. Sure, which is probably what you would expect from police officers, right? Okay, I had this idea. Just real quick break. Do you think that this would work? Okay. Do you know how sometimes you feel congested? Has anybody ever made a face vacuum? Imagine if you could just stick a vacuum over your nose and then close your mouth and just suck everything out instantly. Is this possible? Would it work? What would happen? It would be so good if you could do it. It would be such a good thing. Oh my God. It would suck your... I don't think it would suck your brains out. All right, 100% still listening to make millions, please.
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
Stop. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. We have 2 emails that we're reading. No, 1 email. Recognizing effort posters is a double-edged sword. From a DGGer. Praising good effort posters seems to fuck with their brains. Case in point, the Scrub King and Wannabe Sad Boy. This sucks. It's good to give positive examples along with the criticisms, but it seems there's no way to avoid the echo chamber. Eventually, people end up contrarian without the principled positions, delineating good critique versus plausible alternate interpretation, must equal chance to argue. I don't know if that sentence made sense. I remember a short time after you praised him, DSK's manifesto started to fall off. Seems the same with Wannabe after your recent praise. I argued with Wannabe during your absence about the Fuentes Southern and guessed your exact arguments, and he seemed to stick to his belief that you were either stupid enough to believe dog whistling never existed, or Nick is 100% good, innocent, or Nazis never existed. Now, blank. It's brain rot, contrarianism, anti-jerk dumbfuckery. There have been like no cop defense posts. Oh, this guy... This was written by a guy called Morbius? Is your name actual Morbius? You're gonna hit D4. Let's go Morb on those fuckers. I don't know how much. Okay, there you go. I read his post. Oh, there was this post. This sub has to get over its terminal, lefty phobia. Yeah, we get it. Most far-left people on the internet are virtue signaling dumb fucks. Anyone with the brain could see that. But the subreddit takes such insane contrarian takes just to try and dunk on them that it makes this community look like reactionary morons. 2 examples in the last 24 hours alone. Ethan Klein saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't have huge Twitch streamers playing slots to their mostly child-based audience. And there were some reasonable people who said, yeah, he's right. But as always, this sub's knee-jerk reaction was that Ethan is a lefty dumb fuck. And the fact that it was all contentious, that this is a bad thing, is a huge issue. Cops clearly fucking up the Uvalde shooting, and half the sub bending over backwards to explain why the cops were fine to leave 8-year-olds bleeding to death with the shooter locked into them for a fucking hour. It's been like 2 days, and the police themselves have already admitted there was a mistake, and people are still trying to pretend like it might have been a reasonable choice. Does this happen that much? I thought it was when the breaking news is when people were like saying like, well, hold on. I don't know. I didn't see all the posts myself with people defending the cops. This is where all the comments / posts were linked. I'll relink the posts from Phoenix Fiber because I think it's funny to watch continue avoid addressing it. Few comments I found about you doing 10. Okay, after doing 10 minutes of research. 3 days ago, Hassan is doing the same shit too. Cops will shoot and kill a 12-year-old playing with a toy gun from their car. Okay, wait, but wasn't this on the day of when was the shooting? What was the day of the shooting? It's like lefties all have this group chat where they decide on a narrative and push it as hard as possible. How is this a bad post? May 25th, like, wait, this isn't even a bad post. This is true. People decide the narrative. Conservatives do it with brown people and want to be, like, calling Muslims terrorists. I've literally had this exact debate with Hassan before. Destiny, Hassan, Destiny, Hassan, breaking news. Does nobody remember this? We literally had this exact debate. Where he got in trouble, or the Young Turks, it might have even been him specifically, got in trouble because they posted a breaking news story about how a white guy killed a brown kid, and that wasn't the case at all. But they decided to just run with the breaking news narrative before all the information was in. Like, so this post isn't really bad. Let's see what the next one is. Every single time we see a mass shooting like this, it's 100% a result of a horribly mentally ill person who gets their hands on a gun, but they still find a way to change the narrative to cops bad, America bad. Instead of let's talk about the realistic types of policy reform that could prevent deranged psychopaths from getting weapons. Let's talk about mental health intervention. It's actually remarkable, although completely predictable, that they are trying to squeeze the fascist incompetent pigs who should be defunded and have better training in the narrative. I'd love to see a parallel universe where Vaush and Hassan decide to become cops instead of clutching as demagogues. It'd be really nice to see them lead with actual compassion instead of hatred. They fundamentally don't understand that picking enemies and circle jerking about dehumanizing people is how make. I mean, like, I don't. Could you? No, hold on. I'm gonna be less charitable to you guys. I don't think this is dick riding the cops. I think this is a good point. And this is something that I pointed a lot in the past about lefties. I think that we need to talk about, when we talk about redistribution of wealth, we should be more concerned with the people getting the money than with the people we're taking the money from. It's really fucking weird when I want to talk about taxes and people are like, based, billionaires shouldn't exist. Like, why? The fuck? That doesn't need to be the goal. The goal of tax policy isn't to make it so there are no billionaires. The goal of tax policy is to make it so that there aren't people that are like fucking homeless or without medical coverage in the United States, or like can't afford food or clothing, right? That should be the goal. Same thing with like, yeah, like, okay, like there's a mass shooting, like what can we talk about? What do we need to change? But now like the obsession with cops is like so fucking... Destiny, he's deflecting cop criticism with my mental health. It's absolutely a brain dead. Yeah, but like the biggest problems we have with mass shootings in America probably aren't that the cops aren't RoboCops. It's probably why the fuck do mass shootings happen? Like the conversation needs to be around like mental health and guns, something to do with guns, gun control or gun restrictions or something, right? These are probably the two biggest parts of, rather than like, why don't we have a bunch of RoboCops? LOL, then get ready for there to be no more cops. I'm sorry, but that's just so unreasonable to expect every cop to willingly give up their own life to save someone else. We already ask cops to put themselves in dangerous situations all the time. I think it's good enough. We should. What is he responding to? If it's for the life of children, I honestly do expect them to die in the line of duty. Citizens can stand by idly and pick up the pieces. LEOs is supposed to protect, that being something they're most unable to do, children especially. If dying for the life of innocent children is something you're capable of, you should not be a law enforcement officer. That's... I mean, like, we can say that, but like, one, this guy has a lot of upvotes more than this dude. Does this count as dick riding the cops? Is any comment that like challenges anything relating to police stuff, does that all count as dick riding police? I feel like these are really weak comments if that's like the thing you're trying to prove. Like, honestly, like if you're a police officer, you should probably be ready to take risks, but like actually throw yourself into a comic situation, I don't know about that. That's a tall order for somebody making $55,000 a year, right? Like, isn't this exactly what we ask firefighters to do and they deliver every time? I'm pretty sure firefighters evaluate like how safe it is to go in or out of a building based on like progressive damage and shit. Like, I'm pretty sure there are times if like forest fires are bad enough where they'll literally like send you a text message to say, hey, just so you know, it's too late to leave your home. Here are the steps you can take. You're probably gonna die. Good luck. Like, we don't expect suiciders to go fucking kill themselves. Even ignoring the additional info, what the fuck kind of argument is cops are cowards because they don't want to get killed? This guy's at -1. The shit Vaush was saying on stream is way worse than this. Drives an 18-year-old to murder innocent children. I don't know, but judging by the photos of him cross-dressing, we can assume this is a fucking stupid tweet. Vaush's statements probably were worse, though. So I've thought about this a little bit. I have to think about this more. I don't know. But, one thing that I notice is that whenever there's like left-leaning violence or issues, for some reason, the left doesn't have any accountability for their rhetoric there. I don't know why. When it's right-leaning stuff, you get, we're very quick to point out like Tucker Carlson, Lawrence Southern, or like any of the mainstream like media guys. I don't think Ben Shapiro's number one or Jordan Peterson, but like we're very quick. Tucker Carlson's probably the big one, Fox News. We're very quick to point out like, that guy's at fault, that guy's at fault, that guy's at fault. Like, I've said this before, but people like Hassan and Vaush are like literally responsible, like one-to-one. Like, you people are contributing to things like the like the Jacob Blake misinformation shit that leads to Kenosha riots. Like, this is a one-to-one, like hundreds of thousands or millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars of damage, like lies at the feet of people that are spreading misinformation relating to shootings. Like, it's like, or I don't know if we're ready to have this conversation yet, maybe in a year from now, okay? My understanding is that there were actually, it's like over 50 or 60 churches were damaged. I think 5 or 6 were like burned to the ground. In Canada, that mass graves shit that was all fake misinformation, it was 100%. Like that, those fake stories that ran across their entire national media led directly to churches getting burned down and vandalized, like one-to-one from there to there. But nobody, none of you, there's not a single post on my subreddit about it, and there won't be. Nobody on Twitter is talking about it. Nobody, like, if that was the opposite, if there were like black, like low income housing homes being burned down by conservatives after fake news, like media is like spreading reports about how there are, you know, like black people are doing these horrible things in their crack houses, and then people went and burned their houses down, I'd be hearing about it nonstop. I'd be hearing about it every single day. Like, oh my God, like, dude, these conservatives spread this horrible fake news, and now look at what happened, right? So like, but I don't know why. I truly don't understand that. I'm not sure. What was the final story in the mass grave shit? Here's what I'm pretty sure happened based on, I know more about this than I even care to, just because I moderated the Lauren debate with the Serfs and because now I keep up on it because I'm kind of interested. Here's what I'm pretty sure happened, okay? I'm pretty sure that some well-meaning do-gooder did their little ground penetration scanning shit and they found some bodies, and they started doing this at a lot of residential schools across the country. And what happened is a combination of things. One, a lot of these grave sites were already known about. And two, there might have been a couple of graveyards that were lost over time, but like people knew they were graveyards there. They just kind of forgot about them and they weren't maintained. And that was everything. But when it came out, people in Canada, and there's a lot of people in Canada that still believe this, and now they're finally writing stories about it on the other end. A lot of people in Canada think that there were literally mass graves of Indigenous children that were either murdered or died of disease and just thrown into big pits and buried. And nobody wanted to talk about it. Like, that's like, this is stochastic terrorism, okay? Truly, if you're gonna call anything stochastic terrorism, we're gonna say like Trump and shit does stuff like that, which I agree we should. You have to say it on the other end, right? People that spread that story in Canada literally caused churches to get burned down. But there will never be accountability for that ever. But if the shoe was on the other foot, we would be screaming until the end of time about how horrible and evil it was for yeah. So this is kind of the issue that I get, because a lot of you guys, I've gotten criticized a lot for two reasons, for two big things. One is I've said things in the past where I've said, I think that misinformation is just as bad on the right and the left. Now, maybe the right causes more harm with it, but it happens on the left and is just as bad. And now that we're a few years removed from my statements, it kind of seems like things are switching up a bit, where maybe the right has like a higher kill count, I'm pretty sure. But in terms of like vandalism and massive amounts of damage and everything, like the left is getting up there now. But now we're past the point of us being able to hold anybody accountable. So like, it's too late to pump the brakes on it, you know? So now what? So where are we now? Because it seems like you've got a lot of like violent actions or a lot of like misinformation now that's kind of like pushed on from the left and then encouraged, but there is no accountability therefore. I don't know why. To be fair, it kind of sounds like you lack a bit of context for the Canada shit. There's a whole lot of resentment in Canada, especially places like Kamloops, that isn't really as partisan as you're making it out to be. I don't know what you mean by what, I don't know what you're saying. Are you saying people do want to hold the media accountable or something? Or, I mean, I'm sure there is, but no one holds their own side accountable, but conservatives do blame leftists for that kind of assignment all the time. Yeah, sure, but I'm saying because like on the levers of like culture and everything, the left kind of owns that. You think the left wing that exists in Canada was responsible for the atmosphere that led to those church burnings? This is a very moderate and liberal country. The far left that would advocate for church burnings has very little sway. No, I disagree with you. I think that your administration and the way that you approach Indigenous people in Canada is incredibly self-serving. And incredibly fucking circle jerky. I'm not saying that Canada is like a socialist utopia, but I'm sorry, when your country is literally trying to invent new definitions of genocide just so you can call yourselves genocidal, that's cringe as fuck, homie. Okay, this ain't it, chief. In the words of my, my Omahayan ancestors. I think that in Canada there's like a fetishization or obsession with bending over backwards in the stupidest ways possible for stuff related to your native or Indigenous population. And yeah, but like nobody will. nobody will. Yeah, it'll never be talked about. So, yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And then now you've got people like Vaush, like basically doing what is an explicit call to violence. If Fuentes or Southern were on a stream and either of them were saying, I think that white people need to be... How do I turn these off? Okay. If either of these people were on... If either of these people were on stream and they were saying things like, I think we need white populations to arm themselves so that when Black Panthers are riding down the streets in trucks, we can take shots at them, all of you would be losing your fucking mind. There would be 50 million posts in my subreddit talking about how fucked up it was and horrible it was that these fascist, neo-Nazi, whatever people are saying. Like, you'd lose your minds over it. So, I don't know. Like, it's irritating to me. I don't like where we're at right now. True, but the subreddit has still been calling out Vaush. Yeah, it has been recently. But, like, there's still, like, that healthy mix of, like, Destiny's just, you guys are obsessed because it's on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. New York kind of stuff. It is more right-sided, but you should read. Yeah, I saw this post. This was what, like, I think Lauren retweeted this, and then people have been talking, yeah. But, like, all of the mass grave shit in Canada was just absolute. It's like The Wire plot. It's like, it's just all bullshit. Zero. That's the number of bodies so far that have been exhumed, by the way. Zero. Like, and here we are a year later. Like, what's happening? Is it just one lady with a shovel? Concerning the residential school stuff, I'm literally from this area, and some of the elders literally talk about how it's only white people who don't know about this shit. Yeah, so this is what... So I'm going to be honest. I don't know 100% if I would trust anything Lauren says about it, but she was telling me that when they were interviewing people, that the... I think it was either her or I read this on just articles or whatever, that, or maybe she was conveying information from articles, that a lot of like tribal leaders would say, do you say tribal leaders? A lot of the indigenous leaders would say things like, yeah, we know there's a grave site there. Like, it's not maintained. Like, everybody in this tribe knows that there is a graveyard there. I don't know why you're doing ground scanning and pretending like it's a mass grave. Like, there were buried children there. Bands, not tribes. Yeah. It's not like a mystery. But, like, all these white people came in and are like, oh, my God, bodies. There's bodies there. And it's like, oh, my God. And it's like a mass grave. And it's like, there are no mass graves, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Have they actually exhumed the bodies? No. There's not a single body. No, not one. No, none. Zero. Stating the progress is still ongoing and they have not allocated their findings. There's only one site I can find that was later confirmed by an indigenous curator to be a prior grave. Yeah, not a single one. Yeah. Wait, so this is all bullshit? 751 unmarked... Yes, all of this is bullshit. If you read through every single one of these articles, what it'll say is they used a new technology called ground-penetrating radar. So all the ground-penetrating radar says... And also, listen to what the article says, bro. To locate unmarked graves at a cemetery. It's a fucking cemetery! It's a cemetery! And then also, keep reading. Chief Delorme said that there may have been markers for the graves at one point, but that the Roman Catholic Church, which oversaw the cemetery, may have removed them. And I think they went back and forth, were saying, basically, like, a lot of these graveyards over time, basically they just got unmaintained. Like, foliage grew over the graves, people lost track of what was there, and that was it. Which is bad! That's a bad thing. Like, that's sad if we're losing track of graveyards. But it's not a mass grave. It's not a mass grave, okay? So what was the Serfs arguing? The Serfs loves dead indigenous children because he can build Twitch and YouTube careers off of them. That's why, and I don't know anybody else besides him that was so shameless with it. But yeah, it's just like, it's unreal, dude. It's becoming pretty embarrassing having to agree with Lauren Southern on factual grounds more than people like Vaush or Hassan. Yeah, I know, that's the issue, right? That's the issue I run into. And I've argued with that with I've said that before with my parents. It's sad when I argue with my mom and I immediately have to make like 15 concessions about, okay, yeah, Trump is right about that and Trump is right about this and Trump is right, but not about these other things, Mom. Trump is wrong about these things. Like, fuck me. Like, I look like a fucking loser that these fucking people inhabit the same side. And it's so irritating. It can't be. That's why we're omni-liberals, guys. We gotta have a new side. We can't get webbed in with these fucking losers. A brave new sub. Oh, this super ADX guy is super schizo. But dude, you guys are unhinged. 2.3 thousand online today. How's Vaush doing? What are they up to in their fortress arc? 780, not bad. Okay. Based Keffels. Jesus Christ. Wannabe Sad Boy made a response. Oh, shit. My opinions on this sub clarified. Bro, we have like... The Orbiter universe is extended to the subreddit. My only take is that I dislike when people try to mimic Destiny's style of speech and text from here. I mean, like, that's always going to happen in any community, right? That email to RTBA. Jesus. What does this sound like? What a fucking loser. Holy shit. What does this sound like? Oh, it really makes you wonder, huh? Destiny, I got banned for posting in this thread. If you got banned, I probably banned you, so let's see what you said. Oh, you posted on Vaush. 240 comments, Jesus. A lot of people gave the idea for getting on the idea of gambling on subject matters such as possible genocide. Do you think they have a point that gambling on subjects is kind of poor taste? Why is it poor taste? Bro, if you are a political commentator and you want to make big, fucking claims about what's going to happen, then your reputation should ride on those claims. If you want to make big predictions. So you should put some money behind it. Have some fucking, have some conviction, bro. Like, yeah, just like dumb shit like this. What are you gonna do? Ooh. Brandon. Oh, 26 days ago. Damn. Have the voice activated super chats been disabled? No, I just have my Donos paused. I have my Donos paused, but for some reason it plays the Donos sound. I don't know why. This is why he's still banned. Hi, right to bear arms lol. Since I'm clearly never getting unbanned from anywhere you fucking mod, I just want to tell you the biggest fucking pussy I've ever had the displeasure for interacting with. You like to self-aggrandize yourself and pretend you're anything more than a no-life loser who gets paid to hang out in chat room all day. Make sure no one types slurs. A job so easy that it beggars belief. How you manage to fuck it up as hard as you have with your little unfunny quips whenever you flex your band commands or your made-up rules that no one asked for, or your petty vendettas against people you don't like for whatever bullshit reason. Jesus. You read the name wrong. Oh, who is it? Hi, retard to bear arms lol. Oh. Here are Superbad's logs that got him banned last time. Super bad. This is stretching harder than Teresa's pussy. Sorry. Okay, that deserves a ban, but a perma ban? Anyway, I unbanned it from the subreddit to the chagrin of RTBA, who's upset at me for it, but we'll see what we get from it. Initially, I was going to make a normal long-form post on why I don't like Wannabe Sad Boy. I'd even began writing it. However, I came across some facts that forced me to dramatically change the tone of my post. As someone who has been accused, including by moderators of DGG and Art Destiny, of being deranged / mentally ill / I need to touch grass, etc. I've often questioned myself and if I was letting the online world affect my real life due to spending too much time in Destiny's community. I do post more than the average user here. I do sound somewhat schizophrenic in my rant posts, sometimes intentionally, but I really felt that the time spent arguing with people here was affecting my personal life relationships, because even if I sometimes spend an afternoon arguing with people here, I can also go days and sometimes weeks without posturing much, aside from one phrase comments. To be clear, I spent a lot of time here, probably more than I should, especially the last 2 days, which has even made me consider taking a break from the community in general. Do I really want to read this all? Oh, it's not that much, okay. However, I didn't know what a lot meant until I started looking through, we'll go through this, Wannabe Sad Boy's account. To illustrate, I did an experiment in which I scroll down through our respective Reddit comment histories to see how long it takes for each of us to get to 1 month back before our most recent comment. Here is me, the renowned schizo, scrolling down through my account. Now let's go through Wannabe Sad Boy's account. Why did he? He's not scrolling evenly, no? You can check it yourself if you doubt anything about these videos. A lot of it is multiple paragraph long comments, and a lot of it is about Lauren. I'm pretty sure he's commented on every single Lauren Southern thread made in the past year. I'm already on the line of healthy time spent in Destiny's community. Wannabe Sad Boy blows me into the water in terms of quantity and length of his posts. I don't think there could be a way he spends this much time here without affecting his personal life. For that reason, I would not be playing into whatever mental illness he may have by arguing with him further. Have we evolved to the Schizowars? Like Avengers Schizophrenic Wars on the Destiny subreddit? In terms of quantity and length of his posts. For that reason, I won't be playing. I also have little interest in becoming unironically mentally ill myself. I will nonetheless recommend a lengthy ban for Wannabe Sad Boy for the sake of his mental health, and I recommend that everyone block and not engage with any of his comments or posts other than tell him to seek professional help. I should also preemptively call out that him and his fans, yes, he has fans, will probably ignore the clear evidence Wannabe Sad Boy being mental ill, their victory laps about how this is a cop-out and honest potential critiques of him. To address that, Wannabe Sad Boy does a lot of things I don't like. Like he says, he cares about real-world politics, point 2 of his actual criticism of the sub in his last post. A virtue signal about how we don't spend enough time criticizing right-wing people, my biggest pet peeve. But as I said, I don't think this criticism is worth fleshing out more or litigating, considering that it will just be fodder for him to spend more time arguing here. Suffice to say, I don't think he cares about real-world politics like he claims, because he probably doesn't know what the world outside his bedroom looks like. I don't know what the point of this is. Does he respond in here? Is there a fight in this? Oh, he's here. Oh, he's got 52 updates. Wait, what are these sorting by? Sorted by best. Oh. This is 14, 13. This is 52. I wonder why this is so far down for me. Okay, so your response to me asking for you to substantiate good faith criticism of my arguments and show that it wasn't just characteristics for you to write 2 different posts. The first one you linked seems to have been a longer, stupider version of what you said before. He's unironically, this Godkiller99 guy posts a lot as well. He's unironically mad as fuck about how hard he got blown the fuck out and must have been seething about it for days. Jesus, what are you guys doing in here? Best equals percentage of votes or upvotes, not high. Yeah, it's probably the opposite of controversial, is my guess. Did you read the black hole post on Vaush? The Vaush manifesto, we deserve evidentiary consistency in the utilitarian realist black hole. Oh, Jesus. Purge the loser comments if didn't read LOL. True. Stop making comments like this. They're lame as fuck, okay? Don't do this. 3-day ban for you. Wait, make it a rule. Forethought, are you here? You need to make a rule. No more of this, like, too long, didn't read shit. It shits up every, like, long effort post. It's just annoying as fuck to read.